My name is Alicja Bugeja Said. My work is a fisheries advisor at the Ministry for Agriculture, Fisheries, Food and Animal Rights. Basically, my role involves various aspects related to fisheries and aquaculture, but predominantly I focus on the research domain, so I provide advice on the type of research that the Ministry, through the Department of Fisheries and Aquaculture, needs to implement to be both compliant with the EU regulations on the data collection framework, but in parallel to ensure that the way that the research is conducted is in line with the needs of the fisheries and aquaculture sector. My professional responsibilities are quite wide, and mostly I focus on the governance of the fisheries sector. And I think through my academic experience in different universities and also the writings I've done on the subject helped me gauge more in-depth information and methodology of how best to govern the fisheries sector. My role in the public sector gives me the opportunity to bring change. And so I consider my job as satisfying, not only because I am working on the subject which is most dear to me and which I have a passion for, but because through my career, through my profession, I am able to walk the talk of what I've researched during my time as a doctoral and a postdoctoral student. As a director of fisheries, which I started back in May 2020, I think we have hit a number of accomplishments which I'm very proud of. The fact that I was able to be closer to the fishers on a day-to-day basis and listen to their proposals to bring the necessary change for the sector, I think was one of the prime successes of the department. During the doctoral degree and my first postdoc, I was able to acquire governance skills and also attend a number of conferences through which I met different professors and scientists from around the globe. And that gave me the opportunity to pursue further studies at the University of Brest for my last postdoc, wherein I focused on the management of fisheries, specifically those using floating aggregate devices. As an interdisciplinary scientist entering the public sector to work specifically on fisheries, I think it was crucial that I had the doctoral skills which I achieved throughout my career, as I was able to utilize them to better manage the fisheries sector. As I mentioned before, unfortunately, most of the focus when we look at fisheries is on the natural side. In my doctoral degree, I conducted a number of anthropological interviews with the fishing communities, where I was able to closely understand the different realities, the different conflicts, the role of the fishing cooperatives. Then, during my time as a director of fisheries and now as a fisheries advisor, I can easily understand the problems of the fishing communities, and the policies which the department implements are based on such research. So during my PhD and the postdocs, there was not specific internships like there are in, for example, master's or bachelor's level that prepares people for the labor market. However, I think the fact that the PhD that I did was of an interdisciplinary nature, and I was studying closely policy matters, then I was automatically venturing into the labor market related to policy, which in this case is the Department of Fisheries and Aquaculture and the ministerial part of it in terms of the political process. The biggest skill that as a Maltese leaving the country has given me is the fact that I became more independent. I was able to start looking for example, different opportunities of conferences. We need more research on our seas. We need to understand closely how we affect the sea and how the seas are affecting us, and how we can better provide informed management through your research.